You know, about 3 months ago, I said this, and I think what we're going to do is try to commit to doing like maybe one of these every 3 months. And I want to stick true to my word, because as much as I love massive pickups videos, I do, trust me, I really, really do. I think there's something to be said about trying to stay on top of things and make sure that I'm like kind of showing you guys what I've been playing and what I've been picking up recently. So I'm going to try to stick to this as a quarterly thing. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay. Welcome to Square Peg. Glad you're here. And yeah, this is going to be a pickups video for the last about 3 months. Some really cool stuff on here. I am going to include my pickups from Midwest Gaming Classic, which just happened this past weekend. I actually made a conscious decision to not film at the show this time. I wanted to just kind of experience it and have fun. I was also really busy with the merge booth, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to get up on the show floor and record. But when I was up there, I just wanted to kind of hang out with my friends and my family, and I think that was a wise decision. The show is incredible. It's always incredible. I just wanted to experience it and not by holding my camera the entire time. Something to be said about being present in the situation that you're in and experiencing things, and I wanted to be sure I was there for that. We're going to start things off the way I typically do these, and the way I'm going to continue to do these is I go newest to oldest. I steal that from my friend Stuart from Generation Pixel. Be sure to check out his channel, link on screen right now. But there's some side quests on the way for this one, so it's not just going newest to oldest. There's going to be some stuff kind of at the opening that isn't really tied directly into video games or isn't directly tied to a console. So there's some gaming stuff in here that's a little bit different. First off, a couple of new amiibo came out, and there's only really one I wanted, and I happened to find it at Target, and it was the Captain Toad and the Talking Flower amiibo. I don't give a crap about the Talking Flower, but I love me some Captain Toad, so I had to make sure I owned this when it released. My wife and I went to the Kalamazoo Comic-Con a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't find a whole lot of stuff there as far as video games go. Any video games, if I'm being honest with you, but I did find some pretty neat stuff. There were some amazing artists there. I love looking at the art booths when I'm there, and some other cool stuff as well. There's a hot sauce company called Goblin Boss Trading Company, and they're actually going to be vending at Merge, and their hot sauces are magnificent. I got to try some of them. They were great. But one of the things I did pick up, and I cannot remember which booth I got this at, but it was awesome, is this little dice vault here. The new Dungeon Crawler Carl TTRPG is coming out at the end of the year. I want to get back into playing TTRPGs, and I wanted something to hold my dice. So I got this, and it's cool because you just twist the green band on the side, and it shows off. It's like, isn't that great? From the apparel side of things, I got a new achievement shirt from Dungeon Crawler Carl. And yesterday at the Midwest Gaming Class, I picked up this shirt from my friends at Atari at the Atari booth, which was awesome to see them set up. I just really like this design. I think it's awesome. This like speaks to me. I love that look. I love that aesthetic. And I think it's just a beautiful shirt, and it's soft and it's wonderful. It's exactly what I want. Picked this up from Ryan at Castlemania Games. Ryan's an awesome guy. Castlemania Games, one of the best stores out there for retro components and things like that to make your games look as good as they can on modern consoles. And I picked up an HD cable for the Dreamcast. This is from Hyperkin. I've had a lot of luck with Hyperkin stuff. I know some people don't care for it, but I've never had a problem with it. So happy to have that. Happy to have my Dreamcast look as good as it possibly can on my system. A couple of months back, I got contacted by the folks from 8-Bit Dough, and I owe them reviews on these controllers, like full reviews. And I can tell you that they're awesome. I just haven't done the review yet, just because you guys know I was going through some mental stuff, and I just couldn't do a review in good conscience and know that I was giving an honest review. I can tell you that they're fantastic, that they are wonderful controllers. This one here is for the Switch and Windows, and you can see it is kind of shaped like the Amazon Luna controller. It's awesome. I love the offset thumbsticks. I think that's fantastic. And much like the Xbox Series controller, which I love, this one has the charging base, which I think is great. It's absolutely magnificent controller. I use it primarily on my PC, because wireless controllers are great when you have a gaming laptop, and I really like just the fidelity of it. I think it's a fantastic controller. And this one here is for the Switch, Windows, and Android devices, and I've been using it on my emulation machines. And this is kind of the new version of the SNES Pro controller that they do. I really like it. This one also comes with a charging base. Again, a fantastic controller, something that will be given a more in-depth review as we go on, but just wanted to call them out and say thank you to them for sending those over for review. They're magnificent, and I do owe them the review, and it will be happening within probably the next 2 months. So stay tuned for that if you're curious. Now, One slight deviation from the standard newest to oldest releases. I'm doing newest to oldest, but I'm also going to do a bit of a cool shit stuff at the end. So not just like running through everything and kind of spoiling some of the bigger pickups I've had. I've been very fortunate to have some friends pick some stuff up for me that are out of the country that they tracked down for me. And yeah, just really appreciate it. A lot of the cooler stuff that you're going to see is either things that my friend Robert from up around Toronto got for me, or that I was able to swing a trade for at Midwest Gaming Classic. But we're going to run through this stuff real quick. The still cool but not quite as cool stuff, I guess, is the best way to put it. Up first, from Limited Run Games and for the Game Boy Advance, is the new physical release of Shantae Advance, which I honestly didn't even know was out. Ryan at Castlemania had this at his booth at MGC, and I immediately picked it up. I really loved the digital release on the Switch. I thought it was fantastic, and to actually have it on a GBA cartridge is pretty cool. The gameplay is wonderful, classic Shantae experience. If you are a fan of the franchise and you haven't played this one, you really should, because it's magnificent. And if you have played it, you know how good it is. It's the lost Shantae game. It's really cool that we have it now, and just excited to own it. Continuing a tradition of buying every game in this franchise, I now have, let's see, this started in 1992. It's now 2026. You can do the math, kids. 34 years of games. This is NHL 26. It's NHL. I mean, I wish I could give a more glowing review of it than that. It's there are definitely some changes. There are some improvements. There are some quality of life touches. But at the end of the day, it's the same NHL game that EA has been making for 10 years now. Which is a shame, because I'd really like to see them be a little bit more ambitious with it. That used to be their flagship sports franchise, and it's just not anymore. And it's a shame. It really is, because it's such a rich franchise, such a rich history. Like I call it the flagship. I know everyone's going to look at me and say, no, it's always been that. And yeah, sure, that's true. But NHL was always better than Madden. And maybe I'm a little bit biased there, but it's good. Is it great? No. Is it good? Yeah. Next up, one that I wasn't sure I was going to pick up this year, because I was not impressed with last year's release, or the release the year before. I thought it relied way too heavily on just kind of being able to buy your way to the end, and that kind of took the fun out of the unlocking of things. And that's WWE 2K26. Now, it doesn't hurt the fact that my favorite professional wrestler of all time is on the cover with CM Punk. But there was something, a decision that they made that the community really, really hated. But I actually liked. I liked having to play the game to be able to unlock things in the game. Call me crazy, but I like being rewarded for the work I put into the game. Work. It's certainly not a task, but I can also see the complaints there, because there was a precedent set about just being able to kind of buy your way to the end. When you buy the season pass, everything would be unlocked for you. And I get that, but I also like having that season pass and knowing that I will be able to unlock the stuff as long as I'm playing it. I'll be rewarded for my input. There's two sides to it, right? Like there's good and there's bad. It didn't bother me as much as it bothered other people, and there's so much negativity around the game, which really sucks, because I think they actually did a pretty good job this year. But it is what it is, unfortunately. It's an iterative sports game from 2K. They rely on the island. They rely on microtransactions. That's never going to change. That's just the way they are. But I really like the gameplay. I think it plays incredibly well. I think the look of the game is solid. I think the interface is good. I love the creative wrestler and the creative everything that they have in there. And there's a great online community for it. So I think it just kind of works overall. All right, moving on to the Switch 2 now. And a lot of these I've already talked about on the channel, because I did the first 20 video from a couple of months ago. Link on screen right now if you want to check that one out. I actually really like that video. So a lot of these I've already discussed, so we're just going to kind of rapid fire through them. Animal Crossing New Horizons, Switch 2 edition. Never thought I would be hooked back to Animal Crossing New Horizons, but here we are. I've made an island for the convention, Merge Island. It's Mergelanta. We were trying to do Cala Merge Zoo, but we couldn't make it fit because of the character limit, so I just went with Mergelanta. It's fun. Like, it's mindless. It's not a difficult game by any stretch of the imagination. It's just cute and fun and wholesome and cozy, and that's all you need. Next up, from Square Enix, this is Dragon Quest VII Remastered, and I'm a fan. I really am. I think there's some improvements here made over the original release from what I played. I originally played it on the 3DS, and it was a really good game then. It's an incredible game now. There's some absolutely massive quality of life improvements in the game, and I think the storyline is wonderful. I mean, it's Dragon Quest. If you like Dragon Quest, you're going to love that, and I do. I think it's fantastic. It's a great release to have on the Switch, and it looks beautiful on the Switch too. Next up, one that I was fully prepared to hate, because I hate the original game. Hate's a strong word. I really dislike the original game, so I was prepared completely to dislike this one. And I do love it. There are some aspects that I think are kind of crappy, but I think overall the game is fantastic, and that is Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is the integrated release. This is the first one of the trilogy. And I really enjoy it. I think it's one of the best looking games on the Switch 2. I think it's one of the best playing games on the Switch 2. There are aspects of it that I look at and I go, that's really crappy. I don't really enjoy that part of it. But overall, I think it's a drastic improvement over the initial release. I think the storyline is better. Having Cloud actually be active and take part in his story is a breath of fresh air. Who knew a protagonist that can speak would be intriguing? It just makes things more interesting, and plays brilliantly well and looks amazing. Next up, one kind of like Final Fantasy VII. I enjoy the Warriors games, and I enjoy the Zelda Warriors games, but this one I was prepared to just kind of brush off. I didn't really think much of it when it released, but Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is actually pretty cool because it not only adds on to the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom storyline, it fleshes things out. So it's a good standalone game where you can enjoy it just as kind of this fun Zelda romp. But if you know the lore of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, it adds a lot to that and makes the game and the world a little bit richer. And I think that should be commended. And it's fun. Like, it's mindless. It's a Warriors game. You're just rushing through and destroying every enemy you can, but it's still fantastic. It's still fun, and it plays incredibly well. Like, there have been some really bad Warriors releases on the Switch that have been stuttery and kind of just poorly implemented and poorly optimized, but this one's excellent. Next up, a franchise that I love and a franchise I discovered originally on the Switch. It debuted, I believe, on the Vita, and it's the Legend of Heroes Trails of X series, and this is Trails Beyond the Horizon. This is the latest release on the Switch 2, and it continues the story of everyone in the universe, basically, of the Trails universe. And I can't say too much about it because I haven't dumped a ton of time into it, but if you like the other Trails games, you're going to love that one. It's true to those. It plays incredibly well. It looks great. The storyline is fun. The characters are memorable. And I mean, overall, it's just a really solid title, and I'm very happy I picked that one up. And very happy I took a chance on Trails of Cold Steel 3 when I found it on Amazon. So nice to be enraptured with that franchise now. Next up, one that people kind of gave me a hard time for not have picked up, for not having had picked up at the time of my last video, but I said, okay, fine, I'll call your bluff, I'll pick it up. And that is Metroid Prime 4, what's the Beyond? There it is. You can see how much time I put into it. It's good. It's a good game. It's not great. It's you can tell that it was handled by multiple teams. You can tell that the course changed direction several times during development. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes that's necessary for the game to be finished, which is indeed the case here. But you can also tell that there were some dangling threads that never really got picked up, or things that started that never really finished, or things that were just kind of rushed to make up for the fact that Retro had to take over. It's still good, don't get me wrong. It's just not to the level of polish that I would have expected from other Prime games. Now, I'm not the biggest Metroid Prime fan. I prefer 2D Metroid, but it's still a solid entry into that kind of universe. And if you can accept that the original Metroid Prime trilogy is a trilogy, and this is kind of starting a new adventure with that same kind of mechanic and kind of direction, then you'll be fine. If you're looking for Metroid Prime 4 as 1, 2, 3, 4 and a continuation of that story, it doesn't feel that way yet to me. I could be wrong on that. I'm happy to be proven wrong. If that's the case, please let me know in the comments. But just from me playing it right now, it feels like the start of a brand new story. So I don't think that's a bad thing, though. Next up, one that I was positive I wasn't going to pick up, but because I'm not really a huge fan of these games. I was a Street Fighter and King of Fighters guy. I was never a Mortal Kombat guy. But My buddy Eric picked it up. He sang its praises and said how great it was, and I found it for a ridiculously good deal on Amazon. I think I found it for like $25 on Amazon, and that's Mortal Kombat: The Ultimate Collection. This is from Atari. Atari put this together. It's assembled by Digital Eclipse. They are the best in the business at that. They put together the best compilation collections, the best absolute like history and learning experiences for games like that. And while I understand that there is some, shall we say, editorializing from some of the folks interviewed for this, that as compared to what may have actually happened during the development of this game, I cannot fault Digital Eclipse for what is in there, because that was not their story to tell. It was their story to assemble. And it is beautifully done and just a marvelous, marvelous game. And if you love Mortal Kombat, you are going to love this collection. It's excellent. It really is. I'm still not the biggest MK fan, but the history behind things and learning more about the characters and the development and where things kind of stemmed from makes me appreciate it more. And it feels like the bloodier, meaner version of Atari 50, if that makes sense, because Digital Eclipse did it. It's brilliant. Next up, a game I am very surprised I am enjoying as much as I am, because I liked Dragon Quest Builders 1 and 2, but I didn't love Dragon Quest Builders 1 and 2. And as much as people have been swept by this game, and I loved it when I first played it, it has tapered off a bit for me, I will be honest. I merely like it now. So maybe it is just like Dragon Quest Builders, who knows? But that would be Pokemon Pocopia. I really like it. I really do. I think there are some incredibly charming things done with this game. I love playing as a Ditto. I love the way Ditto animates as you're running around and just kind of looking like a wacky arm-waving inflatable tube man. I think that's brilliant. The game itself is very simple and very cozy and very easy to understand. You have objectives you need to complete. There are environmental things you need to do, and go. That's all you need. That's all you need to know. It's a really good game. Actually, there might not be any now that I'm saying this. I'm going to say there's none. There's no combat in the game. There's just puzzle solving. If the combat comes later, I haven't run into it yet. That is one thing I will say that I do appreciate more about Dragon Quest Builders over this one, is that combat is an active part of it. This one is just kind of solving problems and making environments more adequate for Pokemon to show up. And like I said, it's ridiculously charming. It's a wonderful, wonderful game. And last one, again, one I've talked about before. This one's from Atlas. This is Raidu. This is another Devil Summoner game. It's really good. It's a solid JRPG. You will need to invest time into it because it is an Atlas title. So buckle up, spend some time with it. It's really good. Plays great. I haven't spent a massive amount of time with it. I'm probably about 15 hours in, but I really like what I played. I picked this one up because it was suggested to me when I was putting together my Games Like Dungeon Crawler Crawl video. And I was curious about this one because it's got a wicked sense of humor. And it's interesting. It's I will never be able to pronounce this. The Dungeon of Nahulbuk, we'll just call it that. It's a really interesting game. It is a tactical strategy game where you are going to be positioning your characters when you actually get into combat, but it's got a very, very serious sense of humor, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. And unfortunately, I think that might be to its detriment in places, because there are certain aspects of the gameplay that are a little bit rough, like the positioning and knowing exactly what to do to be able to attack or to be able to trigger different actions and things like that. It's not explained terribly well, and I don't feel like it was implemented incredibly well on the Switch. Like, I can see this being absolutely brilliant on a keyboard, but with just a controller, it's a little bit rough. Still a fun game and still a very, very clever idea. And I'm definitely going to give it more time because I think the bones there are very solid and speak with promise about what could be for that game. So I want to put more time into it. I'm really liking what I've played so far, though. Next up is a game I have yet to play. So I can only talk about it, and any footage you see on this is going to be me recording this after the fact. But this is the Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection. Never played any of the Star Force games, but this comes with 7 different Star Force games, which I think is pretty cool. I love the Mega Man Legacy Collections. I love that Capcom is leaning into their history on stuff like that and just kind of putting out these incredible collections of classic games. I've heard good stuff about these, and I'm excited to try them out for the first time. It's not often that I find media featuring my favorite video game character that I've never experienced before, but to have it here is a pretty cool experience, and I'm really looking forward to playing more of it. So I hope I enjoy the games as much as I've been suggested that I would. Next up, this is the latest release from, at least latest release as far as I'm aware, from Super Rare Games. I don't go in a lot on the kind of the limited edition games anymore, just because I kind of got tired of paying for stuff and then having to wait a year plus to receive it. But Super Rare has been pretty reliable in my experience, where if I pay for something, I'm going to have it within basically 90 days. Sometimes I've gotten it within a week or two from when the sale window closed. This one took about 3 months, but they said that going into it, which is something I'm really, really appreciative of and really impressed by. It's Shovel Knight Dig. It's a long way to say it's Shovel Knight Dig. Love the Shovel Knight franchise. Was very excited to see Shovel Knight Dig getting a physical release. I have Treasure Trove on the Switch. I wanted to own Dig as well. So this was a no-brainer for me. It's an absolute immediate buy when it went up for sale. And just thrilled to have it. And I love having it physically because Dig is a very difficult game. It's a very challenging title, and I think it's one that probably they could have gotten away with not putting a physical out for, but I'm happy they did because it's just physical forever, man, right? Like, it's awesome. It's just a great game. And finally, one that I was kind of surprised I picked up, honestly, but again, it's just one of those things where it's like, I need to give these games a better opportunity than I have so far, because everyone I know who has played them says how amazing they are, and I've tried them both, and I don't think I've given them a fair shake, and I'm hoping that having this on the Switch will now be something that makes me put more time into them and makes me appreciate them a little bit more, and that would be Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. This is the collection for the Switch release. I understand how influential they are and how important they are as games, but for some reason it's just never clicked for me. Like, kind of like Mario 64, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I can look at it and recognize how important of a title it is, but it's just never something I've been excited to play or wanted to play. These games have been very much the same way. I didn't enjoy my initial experience with them on the Wii, but I did like Galaxy 1 a lot more on the Switch release when it came out in the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. So I'm hoping that this collection, I actually spend more time with it and I actually enjoy them more. So hopefully that happens. We'll see. This one I picked up at the Midwest Gaming Classic, and I picked it up strictly because I'm trying to have as many of these as I possibly can. These are fantastic things to have in a bag for signing. If someone is asking for an autograph or something like that, I can sign a copy of this and give it to them. And it's Henry Hatsworth and the Puzzling Adventure. It's the best DS game you've never heard of, and I worked on it. So that's all I'm going to say about it, because I have talked about that game ad nauseum on the channel. So I just like having them. I've got 4 or 5 of them over here on the shelf. Chris likes to joke that if you see any sales data for it, it's because of me. That's not true, because I only buy them at conventions. I don't buy them online. Next up, 2 games I picked up down at the Louisville Arcade Expo. I picked up the Castlevania Double Pack on the Double Pack, not Devil Pack, on the GBA. Just excited to have that. That means I have all of the GBA releases now for Castlevania, which I think is awesome. And I also picked up this game here, which is one that Radical Reggie told me about. He says it's an absolute classic, and it's basically Metal Slug on the GBA. And this is CT Special Forces. Really solid title, really, really fun. Very happy to have that. Excellent game. Just 2 wonderful additions to a great library already. Like, the GBA is such a fantastic library, and these are just 2 additions to it that just make me happier. Like, they're great games. This is one Meredith picked up for me at Midwest Gaming Classic, and I'm amping this up because she picked it up, but I'm the one who gave her the money for it because I wanted to have it. Because I am actually legitimately trying to get every now release of Monopoly on every console. This is the Monopoly release, and critically not the Monopoly release, which is like the weirdest typo I've ever seen in a video game. If you know Monopoly, you know this game. It's Monopoly on the Master System. It plays just like Monopoly. That's all you need. Do I still like Monopoly, or do I still hate Monopoly? Yeah, still hate it. But there's something fun about trying to collect them all, and I don't know why, because it's not like I'm ever going to play the goddamn things, but actually I will. I have committed that once I complete the Monopoly collection, and I have a release for every game, I will do a Monopoly ranking video, and I will do it honestly and not rank them all an F. Stay tuned for that within the next probably year or so. All right, we got 4 NES games now before I get to the cool stuff. So let's kick things off here. 3 of these I picked up the Midwest Gaming Classic. This one I picked up over in Detroit, though, back around Valentine's Day. Actually, it might have been on Valentine's Day when we were over there. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, one of the best Capcom games ever. One of my favorite Disney games, one of my favorite Disney cartoons, and just a fantastic game all across the map. This is one that I never pick up. I've never picked up in like all my years of collecting. I've only ever rented. I've never owned it. So I have it now, excited to have it now, and it's just a magnificent title and one of the best games Capcom ever made. Next up, these are ones I picked up at MGC from Pixel Perfect, who will be a vendor at Merge. This is Donkey Kong Classics. This contains both the original Donkey Kong game as well as Donkey Kong Jr. This is one that I owned when I was younger and I played the hell out of. Love Donkey Kong. I love Donkey Kong Jr. So having them all on one cartridge was a huge thing for me, and I loved playing them. Never picked them back up, and it was always something I wanted to add back to the collection. So finding it at MGC and finding it for a good price from Pixel Perfect, I pulled the trigger. I'm happy to have it. This is as good as the lighting's going to get, folks. I'm sorry. I've tried this like 5 times now to get this set back up. Apologies for the lighting change. I did not charge my other key light, and it is currently dead, and I want to make sure that this is done so I can go to bed. My apologies. Harsher lights, harsher shadows. We're all just going to roll on and pretend like it didn't happen, okay? Let's just do that. Okay. Should I turn this down a little bit, you think? How about that? Is that better? That is better. Okay. We're going to go with that. My skin's a little shiny. It's a little bit weird. It's very different than when we started, but we're just going to deal with it. We're cool, right? Love you. All right, so next up, another one from Capcom. We had Rescue Rangers previously, and this is another one kind of like Donkey Kong Classics that I had when I was younger, and I loved, and I've never picked back up. Saw it at Pixel Perfect, and I was like, yeah, I need to make sure I pick that one up, and it is Commando. Now, is Commando as good as Bionic Commando? No, it's not. It's a different game, though. It's a run-and-gun shooter, or it's a shmup, basically. You're just playing as a man instead of as a vehicle of some kind. I really like Commando. I've always really liked Commando. It's one of those games that I loved growing up. One of those games I'm happy to have now. And akin to Commando, another shmup where you play as a man that you can sometimes get a vehicle for. You can get a horse, is Gunsmoke. One of my absolute favorite games on the NES. I think one of the best soundtracks on the NES as well. Early Capcom classic on the console. And very, very happy to have it back in my collection. Another game I owned when I was younger that I just never replaced until now. And I'm happy to have done so. Moving on to the cool stuff now. And you guys know I have been on a Neo Geo Pocket Color pursuit, and my friend Robert helped me out immensely. There was so much stuff that he picked up for me and was able to get for me up in Canada that I just don't have access to down here, and I cannot thank him enough for this. I also have to thank him for the top-end thing on this list, the #1 item, but we're going to start with stuff on the NGPC because adding 6 games to my collection is pretty amazing. Or being able to find 6 games and getting me to add them to my collection is amazing. Starting off with Shanghai Mini. Shanghai, if you don't know, is a classic puzzle game. It's a game your mom always plays. I like it. I'm old. Deal with it. It's something that I really enjoy. And there's so many great iterations of it, and it's just kind of cool to have it on the NGPC, man. Like, I love that console for so many reasons, and to get games like that on it is a big deal. There was one NGPC game I saw at the Midwest Gaming Classic this weekend that I needed for the collection, but it's one that I really had to sit and think to myself, am I willing to spend the money on it right now? And I wasn't. It was one of the slot machine games, and those games are not cheap. It's $100, and I couldn't justify spending that money on it. Like, if that was the last game I needed to complete the collection, yeah, I would have absolutely done it. But knowing I still have about 10 left to go, and there's still some pretty heavy hitters out there for me to pick up, I passed. So the Neo Geo Pocket Color pursuit will continue. Next up, one of the 2 versions of Dive Alert, which released on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. This is Matt's version of Dive Alert. We'll do that. Dive Alert, Matt's version, really fun game. Very different kind of game too. Not something you see frequently on portable systems outside of what Nintendo makes, but really, really clever title, and happy to have that one. I just need Becky's version now, then I have both of them. Next up, a really, really, really excellent game, and one of my favorites on the console. This is Dark Arms Beastbuster 99. I love this one because it's a little bit different version of it. To me, it feels like the grown-up version of Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's absolutely brilliant, though. Absolutely love it. One of my favorite games on the console, and excited to have it. One of the other versions, or the other version of Card Fighters Clash, this is the Capcom version. I already had the SNK one. I have the SNK one complete in box. I picked that up at another castle a couple of years ago out in Seattle, and having this one now makes me happy. I have them both. They're both fantastic. I can now link up if I ever decide I want to. Don't know why I would, but it's just cool to have. Being able to have both of those versions makes me very happy. One of the better sports games on the console, and actually I can't say that because all three of the sports games on the Neo Geo Pocket Color are brilliant. I think this one might be my favorite, even more so than Baseball Stars and Turf Masters. This is Neo Pocket Tennis. I love it. It's just such a good game. Like I like tennis video games anyway, and this one is just a solid entry for that sport on a portable console that no one played. And it's a shame because it's a brilliant game. And the final Neo Geo Pocket Color game I received is a complete in box one of one of the greatest puzzle games of all time, and that is Bust a Move. I already had Puzzle Bobble. We got Bust a Move Pocket as well, and I'm ecstatic. Great games. Really excited to have them, and just thrilled that the collection is coming to a close. Like we're in the home stretch now. Like I said, there's only 10 games left that I need to pick up, and I hope I can get that done between a trip to Seattle later this year and other conventions. I'll be able to hopefully get that down to low single digits by the end of the year. Now, with the Neo Geo Pocket Color pursuit wrapping up, I had to turn my attention to a different handheld and start kind of looking at that. And this is one that I have been a fan of for a long time and been a fan of from afar, and I've never really pulled the trigger on it. I looked at this console a couple of years ago. I want to say it was at Midwest, and I almost picked one up, and it was a complete in box version of this very console. And when the guy opened it up to show it to me, he turned it on and it wouldn't start, and he wouldn't sell it to me. He's like, I can't do that to you. I can't sell you something that's broken. And I just kind of figured I would never get one. And then my buddy Thor from Hey It's Thor showed me that he was going to be trading or using this very thing as trade bait on the show floor. And it is the Final Fantasy II edition of the Wonder Swan Color. I love the idea of the Wonder Swan. It was created by Gunpei Yokoi, who was the guy who created the Game Boy. After he left Nintendo, he made this, and I just love the idea that this even exists. There was a black and white version and a color version, and the crystal version, which I don't really know much about that one. So, but excited to have this, excited to add this to my collection. I paid about $100 for it, and well worth it. Very excited to have it. And I got some games too. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. This is, I have not played any of these yet critically, so any footage you're seeing is me trying to stumble my way through Japanese menus, but this is Super Robot Taisen 2. This is actually from the original Wonder Swan, and not the color version. I found that at the show. This is an Inuyasha game. I know nothing about Inuyasha, but that came with the console. And this is Final Fantasy II, which is what the console is from. And it is super cool to have that stuff. Now, you are probably looking at it going, but Jay, you don't speak Japanese, you don't read Japanese, and you are correct, I do not. But it's still something where there were some really interesting titles released on that console that I have wanted for a long time and that I have played on emulators and I've really enjoyed. So adding this to my collection makes me very, very happy, and I'm excited to have it and to be able to use it going forward and to be able to pick games up for it. Because I actually see Wonder Swan Color stuff more often than I see Neo Geo Pocket Color stuff here in the Midwest, which is ridiculous because the Neo Geo Pocket Color actually sold in the States, but the Wonder Swan Color didn't. All right, now this is the last thing, the last big thing. There's some games that go along with it, but Robert secured for me, he found on a good sale basically on a Canadian Craigslist, I think it's called Kijiji, which is just the most adorable thing ever, and I just love that name. But he heard me say that I wanted one of these in one of my videos, and he managed to find one for me at a great price. And I should say that this was a gift from him. This is something that I am going to treasure because I never had one growing up. and it's one that I've always wanted, and to get one now is pretty amazing. And it is a TurboGrafx 16, and yeah, I took the back end off of it just because it was kind of unwieldy with it on there, because I've always loved the idea of the TurboGrafx, and it was something where I kind of had resigned myself to the fact that I was never going to have one, and for him to find one at the price he did find it at was kind of crazy, and I can't thank him enough for picking it up for me. And just excited to have a Turbo now and to be able to learn more about the library and learn more about the console, because I don't know much about it, and I am kind of going in blind, much like I've done with the Game Gear and with the Saturn when I got that. I'm learning about it as I go, and I think that's kind of exciting to learn about something that I knew about so much when I was a kid, but I never had a chance to play. I can't say that now because I have the opportunity. With that, I've got 4 games for the Turbo. 2 of these were from Robert. The 2 that are in the cases were from Robert, and the first one is World Class Baseball. We're both big sports games fans, so I'm very, very thankful for that. I am very curious to see how sports games played on the Turbo, because I love sports games of that generation and of that era, but I've literally only played like 1 sports game on the TurboGrafx in my life, and it was on an emulator. So very, very excited to try that one out. I also got a racing game, and this is one I've heard is a really, really high quality racing game, and that is Victory Run. And that's one I'm very excited to play as well. Like, none of this stuff are things I've hooked up and tried out yet, so you're seeing the footage as I've hooked it up now and I'm playing it. So excited to have that. I've heard nothing but good stuff about Victory Run. I'm very, very interested in playing it because I love racing games, and just excited to now be setting out on a TurboGrafx collection. This will never be a complete series. This will never be something that I'm going to go for every game on, because I don't have the organs to sell. But there are definitely some key games that I want to get for it. And I was able to pick up 2 of those at the Midwest Gaming Classic this past weekend. And the first, of course, was one that I think is necessary, that I think is the signature game that I remember seeing advertisements for in comic books, in video game magazines, and that is Bonk's Adventure. I have never played the TurboGrafx version of this. I've only played the NES release of Bonk's Adventure, so I'm very excited to be able to play this on the hardware it was meant to be played on, with the controller it was meant to be played with, on the system it was designed for. I'm just so excited to get that opportunity, and I'm thrilled. Like, it's such a, how lucky am I to be able to do that, right? Like, it's something where without people like Robert that are kind enough to do stuff like that for me, that find things and say, hey, Jay would really like that. Like, man, it sounds like it's bragging, and maybe it is. I don't want to be disingenuous, but it's something where I can't express how much I appreciate it, and that people would think enough of me to do something like that. It's not lost on me, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And the final game I picked up at the Midwest Gaming Classic, and this was the big ticket purchase for the weekend, and one that I am very excited to have. And it's not a huge ticket purchase. This isn't like picking up CIB Earthbound or anything like that, but it was the most expensive game I picked up on the weekend, and I'm very excited to have it, because this is one I've legitimately only ever played elsewhere. I've never even booted this up on an emulator for the TurboGrafx, and that is the classic Splatterhouse. I am genuinely so excited, like I said, talking about Bonk, to play something like Splatterhouse for the first time. Whenever I see someone talking on social media about getting the Suikoden collection and playing those games for the first time, I always tell them how jealous I am that they're getting to experience something so important to me for the first time, and they're getting to see those games firsthand for the first time, and how incredible they are. And I know there's so many people that love the TurboGrafx, like Johnny Graphics for one, who just love that console so much and are going to be able to see me experience it for the first time. And I think that's incredibly cool at 47 years old to be able to do that. Like, how lucky am I? Seriously, just how lucky am I? Like, I am my own worst critic, and I will tell you, I don't feel I deserve things like this a lot, and that people care enough to do that means a lot to me. And I'm lucky. There we have it, pickups. I am I'm lucky. There's some awesome stuff in here. I can't thank the people who gifted me stuff enough. I am super stoked for all the things that I found on my own as well. Like, just a cool experience, and I think a pretty solid damn 3 months. What do you guys think? Like, the previous one was like 9 months of pickups, and I don't think I had anything quite as cool as what I picked up in here. But let me know in the comments below what your favorite thing is that I picked up. What do you think is the coolest thing I picked up? It is really hard to top the turbo graphics. I love that I have that, but I'm really stoked for that Wonder Swan as well, man. I think that's so cool. But do let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, apologies for not having a traditional con recap video. Like I said, I just wanted to experience the show and kind of live and breathe the show a little bit, rather than just kind of going through the motions of walking up and down the aisles and filming. Like, it didn't feel genuine to me. I just wanted to experience it. And like I said, I wasn't there as a guest, so I didn't have an obligation to film. So I just wanted to have fun, and I did. I had an absolute blast, and it was incredible to see the people I did. I love it. Can't wait to go back next year, and I'll be there. Let me know if you ran into me at MGC. Let me know if you saw me and didn't say hi. If you didn't, don't do that. Come say hello. I would love to see you. Till next time, folks, I've been Jay. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. Engagement helps the channel out. If you really enjoyed it, consider subscribing. 250-ish away from 20,000 subscribers, which is crazy as hell. And I am so excited to be almost there. Remember, play more games, stay square, and take care. Talk to you soon.